接受这个圣教法，所以呢，心要非常的开阔广大是非常重要的。
Please generate the intention that you will receive the teachings, will listen to the teachings to enlighten all beings, to benefit all other beings. This is the vast intention of bodhicitta.
所以呢，我在这边说法，各位呢在这边就是听法，这样子想的话呢，可以说呢就是心的开阔广大。
상제기 고황 장축기 고황 톱 세야데 테네 룽가 젠다지고 보야다 지가 제와 젠다지 렌제네 상제기 고황 톱야다 근데지 쌈지를 마인가.
So, attaining Buddhahood is not going to another place or moving to another place or to take another birth. So this is not just that to attain Buddhahood. So, the enlightenment is the state of knowing the truth completely. So, to understand reality or truth completely is not just to read the books and have an intellectual understanding of truth. So, it is to really experience the truth. To actually directly experience the truth by oneself. So the fault of not realizing the truth or not understanding the truth as it is the one goes through different kinds of sufferings. For instance, if you have a nightmare of having, being fallen from a cliff, and if you don't realize that it is a dream, then you go through the dreadful experience of suffering. So as you fall down in your dream, and if you recognize that it is a dream, then you will be free from fear, knowing that even if you fall down to the ground, then you are not going to die. Not only you will not experience fear when you fall down slowly, then when you land on the ground, then you will also have that kind of, you will feel that if you can fly again slowly. So that kind of feeling will arise in your mind if you understand that it is dream. For instance, in a dream, if you dream of getting so much money, and if you don't understand it as a dream, then you go through the confusion and illusion, and this will create a lot of problems and sufferings upon you.
许多痛苦。
那米lâm nào là特别người thế米lâm nhìn vào học quan á thế này họ thấy yang sam bao tăng tăng nhà cái lệ tăng khá khá chát rồi.
And if you know that it is a dream, that when you get money in the dream, then if you know that it is a dream, then you will have different kind of thinking, and then you will act differently. So, if you understand the truth, or if you realize the truth as it is, without any mistake, so unmistakenly, then that state of understanding is referred to as enlightenment. However, it is not that easy to realize the truth, to see the actual nature of things. So there's no other reason for not being able to realize the truth. The thing that avoids one from, blocks one from seeing the truth is because of the habitual patterns, different kinds of habitual patterns of seeing the untrue things as true, the things that the things are truly existing, and that defiles seeing the truth. So it is not only difficult to see the truth or understand the truth, but even just to hear the teachings or listen to the teachings on the absolute truth is difficult, the true nature of things. So in some of the teachings, Buddha said that the nature of things is not it's inexplicable. It is beyond words. It cannot be. It is not thinkable with a conceptual mind. So from one side, it is said that the true nature of things is inexplicable. It is beyond words and explanation. But from the other side, it is also said that if you don't understand the truth, then you go through the sufferings. So our guide, our teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni, uses so many different kinds of methods to introduce us to the true nature of things, the true nature of phenomena. So when Buddha gives these teachings, for instance, the teachings on the definitive truths, in such kind of sutras or the teachings, Buddha has used different kinds of words and terminologies. So in this kind of teachings, Buddha has used the teachings of absence. So Buddha uses so many no words. There's no birth, no old age, no 16. sometimes Buddha also uses the word existence also. Sometimes Buddha also says that, that Buddha uses the word such that there is the kayas of the Buddha, there is the different aspects of the Buddha's body. One point here is that to introduce the salt, the taste of salt, to a person who has never tasted salt, it is very difficult to pinpoint the taste of the salt. So in order to introduce a person who has never tasted salt to introduce to the taste of the salt, then the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas gives the person to taste the sugar, which is different from salt, and then says that so the taste of salt is not the taste of sugar, and also gives the spices to taste, and this is. So then Buddha gives so many different kinds of stores, that basically 84,000 different kinds of methods, use 84 different kinds of methods. So in these teachings, Buddha gives teachings or introduces to the truth through negation. So there are many teachings that use, that is transmitted through, explained through negation. So in the Vimalakirti Sutra, there will appear a lot of terminates on on emptiness. So the teachings on emptiness, that the terminus such as emptiness and negation such as no, this is very difficult to understand. So when we say no, then we understand as the absence of thing in a container, such as water in a container, or the absence of money in the wallet, because of our habit. Therefore, in order to understand understand emptiness and the terminology called no, then one needs to accumulate merit and also receive the blessings of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. In addition to that, if you study the teachings and contemplate on the teachings, that will help a great deal. So these days, the many religions say that the ultimate goal of all religions is one. So for the politicians and the diplomats, this is true. So even the experts in religion also say the same thing, that the ultimate result is the same. So many think that even in the other religions such as Islam, Hinduism and Christianity, they also practice compassion, loving kindness and so on. And which is similar to Buddhism. So many people think that these religions are same. So it is a misunderstanding. This is not true. So this is a misunderstanding. For instance, if the Christians talk about renunciation, so to renounce the samsara, or basically from where to renounce the bad thing, according to the Christians, it is truly existing. So that.
那么比如说就是像不好的这个魔，要这个就是从这个不好的这个魔呢这个出离。那这个他们所谓的不好的魔呢，他们这个认为呢，它是这个实有，是真有的，是实有的。얘는 낭바, 찌는 낭바, 뒤나는 착각친 것 속에 년중 몸, 년중 탁툭삭에 코로나가 코로나생들 밀람다고 유마다고 당신지 마주가 학고용이 년중 몸아지 뒤가 나게.
So for the Buddhists, especially, for Buddhists, especially the Mahayanas, the real renunciation or the ultimate renunciation is to know that samsara is not truly existent. It is like illusion. It is like a mirage. So, on the other hand, if samsara is truly existing, then one cannot renounce the truly existing phenomena. Likewise, even though other religions talk about the values such as compassion and loving kindness, it is different from the Mahayana compassion and loving kindness. The ultimate loving kindness and compassion in Mahayana is shunyata, emptiness. So not only in Buddhism, not only in Mahayana, even the Vedic, some of the Vedic schools use this term, the emptiness. But in those traditions, they never talk about the inseparable unity of the appearance and emptiness. Nagarjuna also said like this. The Buddha said that the non-true existing nature of samsara is this empty, the nirvana. So Buddha never said that there is a separate nirvana that is good, completely different from samsara to be adopted. So it is quite difficult to fit the concepts such as emptiness, the profound meaning of emptiness in our head immediately. So in order to lead beings gradually, then in the beginning Buddha talked about impermanence. So these are provisional, relative teachings. Not only that, Buddha also said that anything related to delusion and afflicted emotions is suffering. Then, even though gradually, even though Buddha teaches emptiness, he does not teach the complete, full emptiness. He talks about the selflessness of a person. So one-sided emptiness. So if you want to really understand the emptiness completely, the full-fledged emptiness, then you need to study sutras and the teachings like Vimalakirti Sutra. Just a recap of what the yesterday's point. So Vimalakirti is a lay person. The character in the sutra, Vimalakirti, is a lay person. So it seems that he was a student of Buddha, disciple of Buddha, and also a sponsor or patron of Buddha. So this is the point where the Buddha sends his disciples to go and inquire Vimalakirti about his health. Now, then Buddha asked Mahakasyapa to go and see Vimalakirti and inquire about his health. Like Mahakasyapa, the great art, Mahakasyapa was equal to the Buddha, almost equal to the Buddha. He was such a great, highly realized being. He was not ordinary. So when Buddha passed away, before Buddha passed away, the Buddha entrusted his teachings to Arahat Mahakasyapa. So he also had many disciples. So when Buddha asked Mahakasyapa to go and see Vimalakirti, he refused. And Mahakasyapa said once he was, on alms, going for alms. So he went, when he went begging for alms, then he went to the poor people with intention that if they offer him something, then those poor people would accumulate some merit. So while he was on alms, then he met Vimalakirti. So at that time, Vimalakirti told Mahakasyapa that the kind of compassion and loving kindness Mahakasyapa had was one-sided, so it was not complete. So if you have compassion, then you should beg from both poor and rich. So you should beg from everybody without any bias. So in fact, begging is not for the benefit of oneself; it's for the benefit of others. So, Vimalakirti told Master that whatever he did, such as begging, then he should do without grasping or attachment. So he should beg like a blind looking at the object. Because like the blind, when the person looks at the object, he does not see the different colors or any, so he doesn't make distinction. So he must take the alms without distinction. So when others offer, then the Mahakassapa should take the offerings, but without emotions, afflictive emotions, without delusion. That's true. But in addition to that, one must take the alms without abandoning the afflictive emotions. So one should take the enjoy the offerings without dwelling in samsara. Not only that, at the same time one should enjoy without dwelling in the nirvana. So in this way, Vimalakirti said so many similar things, so that really overwhelmed Mahakassapa. That's why Mahakassapa said to Buddha that he wouldn't want to go. So he thought that Vimalakirti was such an extraordinary being. So Mahakassapa said that even a lay person like Vimalakirti has such kind of power of retention, confidence, and wisdom and knowledge. For that reason, then I'm afraid of going to him. Then Buddha asked another of his disciples, Subhuti, to whom the Buddha gave so many teachings. Subhuti also said the same thing, that he wouldn't want to go. And Subhuti said that he went begging alms to different places, and one day he went to Vimalakirti's house to beg alms. So Vimalakirti was such a wealthy person, so he had so many sumptuous food to offer. So Vimalakirti put the Samcha's food into the begging bowl of Subhuti, and when Subhuti was about to eat, then Vimalakirti said this. Then Vimalakirti told Subhuti that if you can think, you can think that the wisdom and afflictive emotions are non-dual, then you can take the food. So Vimalakirti told Subhuti that he can eat the food without rejecting or accepting the afflictive emotions, or basically samsara and nirvana. And Vimalakirti also told Subhuti that he can eat the food without being either a sentient being or a realized being. So it is too vast. This sutta is so vast that I cannot finish explaining all. And since this is a sutra that explains the definitive meaning or the absolute truth, then it is not that easy to understand. So some of the points are extremely difficult to explain and elucidate. And Vimalakirti told that you should dwell with the maras or the demons, and he shouldn't abandon. So he shouldn't abandon the afflictive emotions like anger, but he should make friends with that. So Vimalakirti told Subhuti that if you could see the nature of the afflictive emotions, the kleshas, as his own nature, then he can eat the food. So there are actually other teachings as well, like to denigrate the Buddha, and also denigrating the Dharma, criticizing the teachings of Buddha, and also denigrating, criticizing the Sangha. So if you can make effort not to attain nirvana, then you can eat this food. So these are the most profound and the highest Mahayana teachings. So, for instance, in the Sakyapa teachings, there's that if you have attachment, then there is no view. So I think basically it's explaining the view beyond any kind of attachment.
시간수 떠던지다 이는 빼서 딱히 저기다 하고 그러네. 그냥 시작이 미리 무슨 도망 제거. 출국직이 나온다. 근데 시행이 출국단이 요즘은 출국 부담에서 막모여로 그래서 강화서서 근데 시행이 수 요즘은
So those who have studied would know this, but those who have not studied, especially the foreigners, should know that among the many religions, then no other religions explain the teachings in this way. So Subhuti told Buddha that Vimalakirti said so many different kinds of such things. And then he said that how could he answer Vimalakirti? So he stopped eating and he left the begging bowl and then he returned to his place. And then Vimalakirti followed Subhuti and then insisted that Subhuti ate the food. Then whatever I said to you, these are all illusion, they're like dreams. So there's nothing extraordinary. So now I'm going to essentialize the points here. So one Katayana, the Arahat Kahaya. So Buddha asked Katayana to go and he also refused. The reason why he didn't want to go is so one day he was giving teachings to a group of monks. So the teachings he gave was that all compound things are impermanent. All emotions are pain. Things are devoid of self. Nirvana is beyond extremes. So he was giving such kind of teachings. These are very, very vast teachings to explain. So when he was giving these teachings, Vimalakirti came and told Katayana not to give the wrong teachings, distorted teachings. It is wrong to teach people that all compounded things are impermanent. So that all the things all the phenomena are primordially unborn, so they are not truly born. So to understand that is the ultimate understanding of impermanence. And likewise, the nature of the five aggregates is emptiness. To know that is knowing that all emotions are suffering. So the things that is beyond the existent or non-existent of self. So that is what is meant by the the things are devoid of self. So for a thing that is devoid of true existence, so that it is unburned, so there is no increasing or blazing.
所以呢，这个就是贪嗔等的这烦恼呢，也不会呢，就是有如火火般的这种就是燃烧。
So, if the thing is not truly blazing or burning, then there is no cessation. So, there's so that according to Vimalakirti, so things don't have inherent blazing. So since there is no inherent blazing, so there is no pacifying or the cessation of burning. So that is the nirvana is beyond extreme. So the absence of true pacification is the nirvana. So I'm going to jump some of the pages. So I won't be able to explain all. Then Buddha asked his attendant Ananda to go and see Vimalakirti. And Ananda also said that he doesn't want to go. And the reason is that once Buddha was ill, Buddha was sick. So when Buddha was ill, then it was necessary to have some milk. So he went somewhere to look for milk. So in that village there was the Brahmin, a wealthy Brahmin. So he went to that Brahmin and stood at the door to ask for the milk. And suddenly Vimalakirti appeared there. And he prostrated to the feet of Ananda. And Vimalakirti asked Ananda what he was waiting for with an empty bowl, begging bowl. And Ananda told Vimalakirti that the Tathagata was sick and they needed milk, so he had come there to beg milk.
어, 지메다가 한내 한털네. 쉐 템제잖아. 말랍.
Vimalakirti was completely overwhelmed and then told Ananda not to say such things. So Buddha has the Tathagata has attained the Vajra body or indestructible, so there's no there's no sickness. So the Buddha would never have sickness, so there's no sickness in the Tathagata. And Vimalakirti told another to return immediately and then not to tell such things to anybody else. So if other people knew that, then other people would criticize and look down. So the other people would criticize and disparage, saying that the Buddha also gets sick. So don't let other disciples get embarrassed with such kind of saying. So if you say such things, then the heretics, the non-Buddhists, will hear this and they will despise. Then they would. This heretic was said that they have a teacher who cannot protect himself from sickness. So when Vimalakirti said that, then Ananda felt really embarrassed. So he stopped begging for milk, and then he returned to the place where Buddha was. So at that moment, the sound appeared from the sky. Maybe it's the manifestation of Vimalakirti. So the sound in that appeared the sound saying that although Buddha was free from, since Buddha attained the Vajra body, he was free from suffering the illness, but in order for the ordinary beings to accumulate merit, then we should offer milk and other things to Buddha. So after that, Buddha asked Bodhisattva Maitreya to go and see Vimalakirti. So Maitreya was such an important person, and we all know that. So there are so many points explained in this section regarding Maitreya, but I'm going to just pick up one point that I think is the most important, and I'm going to explain this. And Maitreya also refused to go, and he said that he wouldn't go. So the reason why he didn't want to go is that once he was giving teachings to a group of gods, devas. So while he was giving teachings to the gods, Vimalakirti arrived. And Vimalakirti asked Maitreya that if he was a bodhisattva who was one lifetime away from attaining Buddhahood. So he told Vimalakirti, yes, he was. So he told Vimalakirti, yes, he was, and that Buddha the Tathagata prophesied that he was going to attain the full Buddhahood in his next life. And then to that, Vimalakirti said that there was no such thing as birth, death, or old age. So since there is no truly existing birth, there's no such thing as the bodhisattva being just one lifetime away from enlightenment or Buddhahood. So the reason why I'm explaining this is that in Buddhism there's this teachings on reincarnation, rebirth, past life and future life. That you will understand this if you read the sutras, such kind of sutras like Vimalakirti Sutra. So the reincarnation, the cause and effect, and the reincarnation is accepted in the conventional sense, in the relative sense, not in the ultimate absolute sense. So in the absolute sense, there's no actually is beyond the existence or non-existence, the reincarnation. So it is said in the teachings that bodhicitta is like a space. So there's no such thing as birth or death. And also Buddha told another of the bodhisattvas, Aniruddha, to go and see the Buddha. See, he also refused to go. So that bodhisattva was a monk, and so once he was giving teachings to a group of people. So at that time, the demons or the maras, surrounded by many, the young goddesses were present to receive teaching that he didn't realize. So the Mara manifested as the Indra, the king of God, and he came with a host of the divine maidens to receive teachings. So, so Aniruddha did not realize that they were. The person was the demon. So he thought it was Indra, and so he gave teachings to him and the retinue. So after the teachings, after having received the teachings from the Aniruddha, the Mara manifested as Indra offered his retinue, the young maidens to divine maidens to Aniruddha. So to that, the Bodhisattva said that he was a monk. So he was an offspring of the Buddha. So there was no need for those maidens. So at that point, Vimalakirti arrived. So immediately Vimalakirti told Aniruddha that the person was not Indra, it was Mara, the demon. So at that point, because of the majesty or the radiance of the Vimalakirti, the demons couldn't move at all. At that point, then a sound came from the sky, saying that all those maidens, the goddesses, should be offered to the Vimalakirti. So the demon, the Mara, offered the divine maidens to the Vimalakirti. So then Vimalakirti meet the young goddesses to generate bodhicitta. So then, since Vimalakirti told these young goddesses that since they have taken the bodhisattvas, that they need to practice the dharma. So they need to practice liking the teachings of the Buddha. So that is to have interest in generating devotion to the Buddha, and also to listen to the teachings of the Buddha. And they should also like serving the Sangha. And also to pay respect and reverence to one's own teacher, the Guru. So Vimalakirti taught the young goddesses to practice the liking, to like the dharma, so all kinds of dharma practices. And then after this, when they are about to go back to return to their place, and then Vimalakirti asked the young goddesses to return to their respective places. So the young goddesses that refused to go back, saying that they have been already offered to Vimalakirti. So goddesses refused to go back to their respective with that demon or the Mara, because they have been already offered to Vimalakirti. So they belong to Vimalakirti. So they refuse to go back. So in the end, Vimalakirti persuaded the young goddesses to go back to their respective place. So the young goddesses, they don't want to go back to the city of the demons. So there's reason for picking up this particular point, Rinpoche says. So the young goddesses said that they have already generated bodhicitta, so they don't want to go back to the city of demons, the Mara. And Vimalakirti told them not to do such things. So he told them to go back at any cost. So they have one practice called inexhaustible lamp. They need to drink that one. So the reason why they need to drink that one is since they have taken the bodhisattva vow and they generate the bodhicitta, if they go back to the city of demons or the maras, then they will lose their dharma. So Vimalakirti told the young goddesses that, like one lamp lighting many other lamps, and increasing the number of lamps, that they can go back to the city of demons, and they can make other demons generate the bodhicitta and spread the teachings of the Buddha, and they can serve the Buddha. Then in the end, Buddha asked Manjushri to go and see Vimalakirti. So Manjushri told Buddha that Vimalakirti was not an easy person to deal with. So Manjushri told Buddha that although he was not easy to penetrate, then maybe through the blessings of Buddha, then something might happen. So Manjushri agreed to go and see Vimalakirti. So at that point, there was a big commotion among the people gathered there when Manjushri accepted. So all the bodhisattvas, arahats, and gods, and all the disciples gathered there, that they really wanted to go and listen to the discussion between Vimalakirti and Manjushri. So I will continue tomorrow. Show